And it wasn't a real dramatic display in the Bay Area. Other parts of the country saw it more impressively. So let's talk about the reason why. And we'll start with why the aurora borealis, the northern lights, happened in the first place. It happens because the sun emits particles, and those are carried along by the solar wind. These charged particles interact with the Earth's magnetic field, which directs those particles towards the North Pole and the South Pole. That's why we have the northern lights and the southern lights. And as those particles interact with the molecules in the atmosphere, specifically oxygen and nitrogen, it produces curtains of light. If you were on social media at all, you probably saw those pictures from elsewhere in the country. And the amount of stuff that is emitted by the sun determines how far to the south the northern lights are visible. Usually it's visible right around the North Pole, but tonight we're seeing pictures from pretty far away because this was an impressive amount emitted by the sun. This is the view from the Solar Observatory of the coronal mass ejection. All that stuff being belched out by the sun is then carried by the solar wind, but the bulk of it interacted with the Earth's atmosphere while it was still light in the Bay Area, but dark in the eastern two-thirds of the country. So this was the view as far to the south as South Carolina. That is really impressive, even if it was location much farther to the north. Around the Bay Area, a faint glow on the horizon from Fairfield, a little longer exposure made it stand out a bit more. And we had our time lapse running from Mount Diablo, and you can see that curtain of faint pink on the horizon between about 9:15 and 9:30, kind of a substorm happening within the solar wind. But also, there's another reason that the event wasn't as impressive around the Bay Area, and there's actually two reasons. You can see them both on the satellite perspective. One is the fog. You weren't going to see it in San Francisco to begin with, the marine layer spreading back out and obscuring the view. But for the rest of the Bay Area, satellite also displays all of the lights from the densely populated parts of the region. And all that urban light pollution means there really wasn't much of a chance of seeing it unless you got far away from that urban light pollution. Still, kind of remarkable and pretty cool that we're able to see at least a faint glimpse of the northern lights this far to the south this time around. Sarah?